Welcome back. Now, even as the 14th Assembly elections in the state have ended, how many voters really knew that they had an alternate option, such as 49O? Our reporter Kuku Alex finds out that there are other issues surrounding 49O that the Election Commission will have to look into the next time around.
You know your vote counts, but you also know that you don't want to vote for any of the candidates in the poll fray in your constituency. What do? To the rescue comes Section 49O. But when this young voter headed out to the polling booth, officials told him the 49O had been scrapped altogether.
I was really shocked, and then one of the guys over there went on to persuade me to cast for any of the minor parties so that it wouldn't anyway affect the results as such. I signed 49O, not willing to vote over there. I signed it, and then the presiding officer out there, he went on to sign too.
Is this a classic case of an official being less knowledgeable than the voter? Observers say that is quite unlikely. They also feel that the manner of exercising the option means your choice is not a secret anymore.
49O being a non-secretive vote is a very inhibiting factor, and already a case is pending before the Supreme Court on this issue. If the Constitutional Bench rules in favor of EVM, it will come into EVM in subsequent elections.
And then there are criticisms about how the 49O, even if exercised, only signals a certain public sentiment rather than a change in government. But both observers and concerned voters like Siddharth say 49O should be made an electronic voting machine option. In Chennai, Kuku Alex for NDTV Hindu.
And the list of grievances by voters has been endless. Today, some even got into an altercation with the polling officials, upset with the process and the rolls that did not feature their names at all. Police presence that was present in most regions did not satisfy those who came to the booths, even as they appeared with their ID cards and were assured by officers earlier on that they could exercise their franchise, but that was certainly not the case.
You can vote. Nothing. They are telling you are not having the risk.
We are staying in that place last 25 years.
First time voting, and I just got to know that if your name is not in the voters list, you can't vote. So I'm really disappointed.
There are many first time voters over here who are really dejected, and I don't know what is the future of the country going to be.
ID card இருக்கு சார். நான் ஆபீஸ் போய்ட்டா ஸ்லிப் வாங்கல. இப்போ ஐடி கார்டு எடுத்துட்டு வந்தா அலௌட் இல்லன்றாங்க. அப்ப எப்படி?
போட்டா மட்டும் மாறி இருக்கு. போட்டா மாற நாங்க என்ன பண்ண முடியும் சொல்லுங்க? அவங்க பண்ண தப்புக்கு நான் என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? அந்த எலெக்ஷன் கமிஷன் ஃபோன் பண்ணி கேட்டது கூட நீங்க போடலாம் அப்படின்றாங்க.
Election Commission has strictly announced that there will be a separate queue for the senior citizens. But as far as Alandur constituency is concerned, I feel that none of the booths are following this separate queue pattern.
என்னோட மனைவி பேரு அம்லம்மா பேருக்கு வந்து ஜென்ஸ் பேர் போட்டுருக்காங்க. கணவர் பேர் அனிஃபான்னு என்னது இதில் எப்படி அவங்க வேற ஆள் எப்படி ஓட்டு போடுவாங்க?
My uncle who just passed away 4 years back, the corporation themselves have issued us a death certificate. Still his name is there in the roll, whereas my mom, my brother, the other people who are alive and very much have their voter ID, their name isn't there.
Maybe I'll be gone in another 5 years, but there are younger generation that we need to think about, and I'm sure all of us must work towards improving the standard of integrity in the country.
Whoever it may be, whatever the political situation might be, the government must be free from, not only from the top, from the bottom.
Now, our politicians do not suffer from self-doubt, nor is there any fear they would end up as chokers. It seems supreme confidence ruled on the all-important day for the 4.7 crore voters. Uniformly, the top brass in each party was sure the stamp of victory would be theirs. Through the day, we at NDTV Hindu were talking to them to gauge their mood.
I am quite confident that the people will give us a decisive mandate and a clear majority to rule the state. I am also very confident that our alliance will do very well.
Fighting a last-ditch battle calls for some strategy, especially if one is cobbling together an alliance. And it was not found wanting. To many analysts, such words from the patriarch may seem to be sheer conciliatory words, but the heir apparent trained his guns on the opposition.
தமிழ்நாட்டு மக்களுக்கு தேர்தல் நேரத்தில் வழங்கிய உறுதிமொழிகள் மட்டுமல்ல, தேர்தல் நேரத்தில் வழங்கப்படாத வாக்குறுதிகளும் நிறைவேற்றப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அதனால் மக்கள் மீண்டும் கலைஞர் தலைமையில் தான் ஆட்சி வர வேண்டும் என்று விரும்புகிறார்கள். அதுதான் நடக்கப் போகிறது.
And like a carom ball in the ODI matches, some lines emerged as markers. Sibling rivalry and the burden of deliverables were brushed aside. What matters now is hitting the right numbers.
நிச்சயமாக திமுக தான் கூட்டணி தான் வெற்றி பெறும். 200 இடங்களுக்கு மேல் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் கூட்டணி வெற்றி பெறும்.
But in an election dubbed as the mixer grinder polls, could the 2G scam cause a drop in the voltage in the electrically charged polls? Not at all, says the Union Minister Dayanidhi.
In Tamil Nadu, people are very, very clear. They want Kalaignar because he has delivered. Whatever he has promised, he has delivered.
And finally, the man dubbed as the game changer, who also tore the districts tirelessly, was also sure of a new order.
So, எங்களுடைய தேமுதிக அண்ணாதிமுக நிச்சயமாக வெற்றி பெறும் தான் உறுதியாக ஆட்சியும் பிடிக்கும்.
However, all parties have to maintain such high levels of self-confidence for a full month. The verdict will be out on Friday the 13th. In Chennai with Bhama Ravi, this is Ashmit Kumar for NDTV Hindu.
So while the polls today have been the hot potato, a quick look at whether gold and silver had the same prospects. Here are the bullion rates tonight. You're watching the late night news on NDTV Hindu. Up ahead, when the stars shone down at the polling booths, not all was well. Find out why when we